Hello everybody, this is Mateo, and we are playing Final Fantasy 1 and 2, more specifically Final Fantasy, the original one. So let's just start a new game. Now this game starts off with you you get to choose your characters. We have a warrior, thief, white mage, black mage, monk, and red mage. I'm going to go with a warrior, thief, red mage, and black mage, and I'm pressing select to auto-name my characters. These names are references to other Final Fantasy games. Baron should be obvious, it's the castle that Cecil comes from in Final Fantasy IV. Wedge should also be obvious if you've played other Final Fantasy games. He appears in a lot of them. For instance, he was one of the soldiers that you started with at 6, and he was also an enemy soldier during 8. Now, Dwayne and Zoc I'm not entirely sure of, but I do have a... oh, wrong button. I do have a guide pulled up to where I can search them up, so if you hear some typing, that's why. Dwayne is Katrin's boyfriend / husband from Final Fantasy VI, so he's one of the side characters. Katrin was the girl who was pregnant in that game, if you know who that is. And then Zoc is Reyna's sage friend from Tool in Final Fantasy V. He's the one that has the key in order to open up the canal towards the beginning of the game. So yeah, those are our 4 characters. Really, they're just generic characters that you can play as, and they get different abilities depending on what job they are. Get more into that later. But yeah, this is back when Final Fantasy was just starting out. I mean, it's the very first game, so it's really not all too complicated. Just generic characters that you can name and go through the game with. And yeah, just play through. They won't have any, they don't have any, character development. Because, well, they're just blank slates of characters. So they're not going to be developing at all. They're just 4 warriors going through this adventure and saving these crystals that just exploded into a purple shine or whatever, I don't know. And then you just randomly start out here. So yeah, there you go. First off, I'm going to allow dash so we can run through this a little bit quicker. Curse our memory because that's helpful. Put message as fast as possible. I'm not going to change the window color at all. And in this game, we have a total of 195 monsters to fight, and I shall be fighting all of them. Just like Final Fantasy IV, this will be a 100% Bestiary run, or Bestiary, or however you pronounce it. I've always pronounced it as Bestiary, but that's probably wrong. But anyways, you go up here and we'll get our very first mission, if you will, basically our goal and what we need to do, and we're showing off our crystals, which are shiny. We could probably get a nice penny, or rather gil, on the black market for those maybe, but no, well. Really not paying attention to the story that much at this point, but yeah, you know, just kinda explaining stuff and whatnot. Crystal bears, wait a second. I think I might have heard of that before. Oh, well, maybe it's just my imagination. Oh well. And we have to go find a guy named Garland who took the princess, and, well, he basically went rogue, and now he took the princess, and I don't even know what he's going to do with her. But the princess is missing, and that's a problem, so we must go and save her. That's our goal. Now, for whatever reason... oh, God. Okay, so... story time. Way back when, like, 2 years ago, I don't even know, really long time ago, when I first tried Let's Plays, and sucked horribly. This was the game that I started with, because I wanted to go through all the Final Fantasies, and I still want to do that, but, you know, start with Final Fantasy 1, I mean, why not, it's the very first game in the series. But then, like, it only went for, like, 3 parts because I hadn't actually, like, played the game before. I played a little bit of it, but not that far. I have this time, I assure you. So, yeah, but still, I was, like, trying to let's play this, failing miserably, quit, tried something else, quit, all that stuff, and then it went on, and now here I am now. But for whatever reason, when I was let's playing this, I pronounced the, princess's name as Sarah. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to just be Sarah, but for whatever reason, I just said Princess Sarah. And that was, like, when I attempted to voice act, characters with my, puberty-induced voice-cracking voice. Fortunately or unfortunately, that footage is now gone forever. So, well, take your pick. I don't know. Either way, buying a whole bunch of spells. You don't learn spells by leveling up in this game. You just buy them from a shop, and then you set it to which character you want to learn it. The ones that are, like, waving their hands in the air are the ones that can learn it. They're like, hey, pick me, let me learn the spell. That building to the top right is a church. You can use that to revive your falled allies. And then you can buy items at that shop with the little teapot or whatever it is above it. And we got into our first battle against a wolf, a single wolf. Luckily, he isn't fighting against Star Fox or anything, but oh well. A lot of these enemies, especially in the beginning, are, they don't really do much. They have barely any HP, not a whole lot of attack power either. But what can you do? It's the beginning of the game, so really I'm just going to be killing a whole bunch of generic enemies, such as those goblins, and you're just going to see me, like, editing together a whole bunch of different battles in which I run into them. That's how that's basically going to work. I'm not going to make you watch me, like, walk around for 5 hours trying to find this one enemy. Although it normally doesn't take that long, and we all got level ups. I suggest that you level up to around 3, maybe 5, depending on if you've played this game before or not. But if you've played this game before, you probably know what to do. But I mean, if you're playing this for the first time, try to go for like 4, maybe 5. There's a cave to the, well, down below me now. We'll get into that much later. It's actually added to this game, but we'll get to that later. And yeah, Chaos Shrine, this is where Garland is holding the princess, so that didn't take a whole lot. That didn't take a whole lot of time, and now we have a Black Widow. It actually took a hit, holy crap, and then it died. I think it might be able to poison you if it can get an attack off, I'm not sure. There's a leather cap that'll increase our defense a little bit. I'm going to give it to the Black Mage because he has the least amount of HP and the least amount of defense, so he could use a little extra boost in order to survive those attacks. Excuse me. A burp in the first episode, not even 10 minutes in. Fantastic. Oh, well. And it might look like a whole bunch of old enemies right here, but we actually have a Warg Wolf in the top right. Well, he missed, but he appears to be a whole lot faster. He's just a stronger variation of the wolves that we met up with earlier. Goblins are generic goblins, you know, whatever. They have very low HP. I don't think they even have double digits. Goblin guards are slightly powered up. Goblins, but still not all that great either. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, the crazy horse back there. The yellow horse with the purple mane, and I think it had a horn as well. Probably the most powerful enemy you're going to run into in that section. You want to be kind of careful with it, because, I mean, it is kind of powerful. And it can take quite a few hits, so there's that. Here we have zombies, which I believe if they hit you, they can cause paralysis, but that's nothing to worry about. It's either them or the other variation of them that you can find here. Man, I'm just hitting you with a whole bunch of different monsters right now. We have a Gigashorn right here. Not that bad either. And then cut again, we have a ghoul. It's either the ghouls or the zombies that can hit you with paralysis when they hit. I think it might be the ghouls, but again, it's going to be a while before we get into any battles that are really that difficult, and even then, with a couple extra levels, they aren't that bad. So I'm going to be flying through a big majority of these battles, except for bosses and stuff. Those might actually take a while, but they're bosses, they're supposed to take a while. And here's Garland. He has a whole bunch of bats with him, and there's the princess right above him. Or rather, right next to him, or whatever. Yes, you are Garland, apparently the greatest swordsman ever. And there's the famous line. They had better, just like, whenever they remake this game, they should always keep that line the same. he was actually going to say something like, I, Garland, will kill you all, or something like that, but then, when translating it, they were just like, that's a little bit too violent. And so now he's just going to knock us down. So, yay. He's going to knock us down, except not really, because he's rather easy. I'm actually going to have the Black Mage use some spells, because then he'll actually do more than like 5 damage. However, the Red Mage can equip the swords that the Knight can, so that's pretty good. I guess I should talk about this now, the jobs. The Knight is your overall tank. He has a whole bunch of HP, a whole bunch of defense, and he does pretty good damage as well. And you want to have him at the very top, because how the rows, quote-unquote, works is that your very top character will take 50% of the hits, then the second character will take 25%, and then the third and fourth will take 12.5% each. So basically, there's a 50% chance that the monster will attack the top character. So you want to put your Knight there just because he has all the defense and the HP and stuff. The Thief, he attacks a lot, and basically it'll show you like how many hits you got at the top, and then it'll do more damage based on how many hits. So he'll get a lot of those. It'll basically make up for his weaker attack, although he'll still probably do less than Knight, depending on what you have equipped on him. But still pretty good. Using a Thief just because it seems like nobody uses a Thief when they're doing a Let's Play. It's usually the Monk, who is kind of similar to the Thief, although he gets less hits, but he's more powerful. But he doesn't have a whole lot of defense, but he has a lot of Avoid, which means the attack will just miss him completely. And then I'm also using a Red Mage. They don't really specialize in anything. They're kind of a jack of all trades, really. I mean, they can equip Knight Swords, but they're not incredibly powerful with them, but they still do a good amount of damage. And then they can learn both white and black spells, but they can only learn up to a certain level. Like, Black Mages can learn all of the, well, not necessarily, but they can learn all of the Black Mage spells, or just black spells. However, the Red Mage can only learn, like, 80% of them. They can't get the most powerful ones, basically. And same with the White Mage. White Mage can learn all the curing spells and stuff like that, and then the Black Mage can learn all of the damaging spells. And yeah, that's all the jobs. So there we go. And because we rescued Sarah, we now get a bridge, which is what we wanted in the beginning. So now we can cross into the other continent. If you saw that girl move out of the way, please, thank you. If you saw that girl right by the fountain, you can actually see, well, you can talk to her and then she'll tell you what you have to do next if you're stuck, or you could just watch this video. I'm going to buy a couple of potions just because we don't really have that many healing spells, and not that much MP as well. This should last us well. Now, do I buy Phoenix Downs? I'm not planning on letting anyone die, so no. Then again, you can never really know. So let's go ahead, leave Cornelia, head on up and go across the bridge. Right here. Now then, whenever you see me stop for a second like that, that means that I'm kind of splitting the clip, because if I record for too long with my Game Boy emulator, it kind of causes the video to become corrupt and then I can't use it whatsoever. So I can only record for so long, and that's me stopping the clip and starting up a new one so it doesn't become corrupt. And when we try to cross this bridge, we are stopped by a prelude, which basically tells us the story. And really after this, it's just doing exactly that. So yeah, in case you don't know, the great task is to save the world. Really, that's about it. The world is kind of going to crap. All of nature is failing. Like, the water is stopping, the wind is dying, Earth is decaying, stuff like that. And it's because the crystals are going like the crystals are just not working anymore. So we need to go and fix those crystals. And we're going to travel across this entire world in order to do so, and kill a whole bunch of monsters, just because they got in our way. And indeed, our journey has become, and is starting. And yeah, that's basically it. And in the NES version at this point, it would show you, like, programs by, I think the guy's name is Nasir. Originally, a single guy programmed this entire game for the NES. Now it's been remade for the Game Boy Advance, which is what I'm playing. So yeah, that's that. And by the way, that's what we're playing. I will see you all next time